Today, we're going to be looking over the most sought-after player in the state of Nebraska, four-star top 100 prospect Christian Jones, a guy that Nebraska is trying super hard to land but has offers all over the country and is being projected as one of the most athletically gifted players in the entire cycle. We're going to look over his high school film and dissect between the good, the bad, but most importantly, the stuff that we are super excited to see for the next 3 to 4 years as a potential Nebraska black shirt. But real quick, if you like the content, please hit the like button on this video. It's completely free and it helps me out, along with subscribing to the channel if you don't want to miss out on film reactions like this or Nebraska football content all spring and summer long. But without further ado, let's dive into it, looking over Christian Jones. All right, let's begin with Christian Jones. As always, this is the first time I have watched this as well, so let's just get started. A guy who plays for Westside High School in Omaha, Nebraska, primarily plays linebacker, but also plays a little bit of tight end on offense too. A nice little route there to get open, and you already see the speed. This is a guy who also plays track in the spring, something that Matt Rule loves from his football recruits. They're trying to shed the block, and yeah, nice job. We'll go right back to that move. And a guy that can play all over the defense as well. That keeps those legs turning. A nice little swim move to get back to the rusher. And you just see the explosiveness and the speed right there once again. Now against Millard South. Almost picks off that football, but he's so quick. He has great footwork right off the bat. You can already see that. Look at him go up and get that football. The hand-eye coordination, something you can't teach. Real quick about Christian Jones, listed at 6'2", 220. Again, super athletically gifted, has offers all over the country. Nebraska's trying super hard to get him, but of course, Oklahoma, Penn State, Notre Dame, schools like that are in the mix. But when we're talking about him from a defensive standpoint and what he brings to the table, he can play anywhere. As you're going to see in this next clip, he can play edge rusher. He can play traditional middle linebacker. He can even play that hybrid safety linebacker role. That's how athletic he is and does a really good job getting to the football. I believe this is a pick 6 right here in the state title game. Yep, right there. I know that because I was broadcasting that game for a radio broadcast. But yeah, super naturally gifted. So one thing I'm going to be looking here throughout this film about Christian Jones is we already talked about how much of an athlete he is. But can he translate that to the football field? Because a lot of times these super athletic and gifted prospects, it takes a little bit of time to really fully get their full potential on the high school football field. That's something that he's been wrongfully criticized for. I know some Nebraska Twitter accounts say, "Oh, Christian Jones is overrated." No, he's not overrated. But he's super athletically gifted. It just takes time to fully translate that. That's something that we're going to be looking at in this video. Again, nice job. He's a sure tackler. That's the thing about him, that you can take that to the bank. When he's going downhill, he's one of the best tacklers. Again, right there, that is a hard tackle to make an open field going after a shifty punt returner. So another play on offense. Nice post route. Too easy over a good Kearney defense. And I know Nebraska fans are going to love to see that. You can keep your eye out for number 8. I always should mention the number of the player we're looking over. But watch him at wide receiver here trying to get a block down. Nebraska fans love this. Pancake. That's physicality. That's toughness. That's something you want from your linebackers. And same deal there. So right here, a little bit of an off-the-ball linebacker. Good patience. Man, this is just great. He goes all the way around the field. He started off on the right hash, went over to the left sideline to make that tackle. Once again, just disruptive, man. Already really good vision. I can see that again. When he gets inside the pocket, he makes that sure tackle. He waits for the pitch there, and oh man, just disrupts the quarterback and gets that ball free. One thing I will say, let's give a little shout out to the West Side uniforms. They do it as well as anybody in Nebraska high school football. We like to mention that from time to time when talking about uniforms or stadiums here on these film reviews. But West Side, man, really, really clean unis. That Christian Jones, man. So, about players who play both ways on offense and defense. It's definitely something you want to see from your prospects, particularly for the fact that you want a guy to be well-trained in a multitude of areas. However, Christian Jones, again, you're looking primarily, you want that position that you're recruiting him to play. You want that to be a little bit more so focused on these highlight reels. We're seeing about maybe a 60-40 split, more offensive highlights, which is okay, but again, want to see more linebacker action. And that's something I'm looking for, particularly in his senior year, that they basically play him 100% on defense and maybe don't give him as many snaps offensively just because you're trying to want to focus and develop that aspect of his game more so. We'll get back to that play. Hold on. I was too busy talking. So Caleb Benning and him were on the tackle there. I don't know if can't footage is not very great. Also, I don't know if he poked that free or if he was the one to take it back to the crib, but nice play there by Christian Jones. And one thing I love about him, and we talked about this when I was looking over Nebraska 2025 commit Tyson Terry, it's just the hustle. It's the effort. It's the drive, right? If a play is what you perceive dead, but it's still going on and you're all the way across the field, he's still sprinting to try to get to the ball carrier, make that tackle. Again, a lot of players, they just give up. They think, oh, I'm already 25, 30 yards away. No way I'll make this tackle. Christian Jones is not one of those guys. Again, nice job to get those hands up. A lot of times pass rushers, they get a little bit too excited. They just try to go for the quarterback. He did a good job on that play to get his hands up and poke that one free. We'll go back to this clip. I will say, so this was, again, if you're not familiar with Nebraska high school football, this is a big game. I'm a Millard South guy. I was broadcasting this one. It was Millard South, number 2 versus number 1 West Side. Really big game, probably the game of the year. And Christian Jones played phenomenal. One of his better games of his entire career when the lights were the most bright. Really good blocker as well. I mean, we've seen a couple blocking highlights on here, and that's what you expect from a guy of his size and caliber. Unfortunately, he will not be blocking much at Nebraska unless he plays special teams. We've seen that a couple times in here as well. A little post route and finds the gap in the zone. So we have about a minute left of this highlight reel. And I haven't really seen any pass pro highlights, which is not the best thing in the world. We've seen a lot of off-ball linebacker action, him making plays in the run game, him playing offense. So again, I'll save my thoughts until the end of the video. But you want to keep your eyes on something to watch without, the final 40 seconds of this. But one thing I love about Christian Jones, again, it's just that speed, man. Really quick, good vision, something that's rare in such a linebacker like him, especially at his age. Imagine what he's going to be in 4 years when he's a senior, junior at Nebraska, right? It's going to be different. He's going to be a different animal, different beast. Again, really good patience. We've seen that a couple times here where there's an option, a little bit of a quick pitch. He does a good job to be patient, doesn't go for the pitcher and just waits to see what that quarterback's going to do until he lays the boom. So that was his highlight reel over his junior season. Let's get into my takes and analysis. Is he actually a top 100 player and worthy of that title? All right, that was Christian Jones' film, number 1 player from Nebraska in the class of 2025. Let's just dive right into it, talking about his pros first. Number 1, super versatile player, a guy who plays offense, defense, plays multiple sports. And that's what you want from a potential 4-star, 5-star caliber prospect, that he's shown that he can be productive in a multitude of ways and on both sides of the football. So that's number one. Number two, it's the things you can't teach. Super fast, very twitchy, has good instinct, good size. He's been one of the biggest guys on the football field since he was a freshman in high school. That shows you kind of the way he's built. I've always been one of those bigger guys, been hitting the gym, right? A lot of these linebackers a little bit too skinny. That's not something you have to worry about when it comes to Christian Jones. He'll be in good weight by the time he gets on campus for any program he decides to commit to. So that's a really, really good sign. Number three, I really was impressed with his ability in the run game. Again, really fast to get into the football. Like I talked about earlier, very twitchy, has a nose to get to the ball carrier, very good hustle. He has the ability to get off blocks, which is something you want to see from an off-the-ball linebacker. I know that Tony White and him in this 3-3-5 is going to be a lot of fun if he decides to commit. Again, there's a multitude of things that he can do. Now, as for some of the cons, like I mentioned a couple minutes ago, we did not see any pass pro highlights for him at that linebacker spot. Not really any plays in zone coverage, man coverage, nothing like that. That is a little bit of a concern, specifically with what Tony White is going to ask of him to do in this defense. You want to see some plays where he's knocking the ball out of a tight end, where he's playing man coverage, where he's playing press, where he can play all over. So that's something that I'm going to keep my eye on throughout his senior year of high school. And another thing is just that raw ability. Yes, super naturally gifted, but you think with all of his traits, maybe his production will be a little bit better. That's not like a super big con. Again, people, I think, have wrongly criticized him in the past because of that. Again, he's super athletic. It's going to translate one way or the other. We've seen a lot of players who've come to Nebraska who have not been super productive in high school. Particularly, let's go to the wide receiver room. Jalen Lloyd, state title winner for Westside, was not the most productive player at Westside, and right now he's one of Nebraska's best wide receivers in his true freshman year. Same thing with Malachi Coleman, right? Both of those guys, super athletically gifted. Maybe it didn't, connect the second they were in high school. But again, that translates to the college level, and then soon enough, they will be productive. That's not something I'd be concerned about when it comes to Christian Jones. His stats are really good. His film really, really solid as well. And yes, I do believe Christian Jones is worthy of a top 100 player in the country just because of how athletically gifted he is. And really, when we talk about him playing that linebacker spot, he is probably one of the highest ceilings I have seen from a Nebraska in-state recruit in some time. There's a lot of players from Nebraska where I say, this is a good player, and they're going to go D1, but I don't think they're an NFL guy, or I don't think they're ever going to be an all-conference player. I don't feel that way about Christian Jones. I think the sky is the limit for Christian Jones. We're talking about all Big Ten. We're talking about national awards. We're talking about first-round pick. That's how athletically gifted he is. That's how, again, his stature, his height, his weight, his things that you cannot teach on the football field. All of that is going for him, and I think that's why he's worthy of that top 100 spot. And man, oh man, Nebraska or any program in the country would be lucky to have his talent, so watch out for him next year at Westside High School in Omaha, Nebraska. So that was Christian Jones. Let me know what you think about his film down below in the comment section. Again, I'll try to respond to anybody. Let me know who else you want to see in this 2025 series. I'll probably get to some Nebraska commits and then some other guys that Nebraska is going to be going after very hard. So again, let me know all that down below. Make sure to like and subscribe to not miss anything more like this. And as always, folks, go Big Red, go Matt Rule, and see you in the next one.